Hi. Someone asked me about the bead, wrapping the beads around the wire, so I thought I'd do a very quick demonstration. So I'm going to use a piece of 14 gauge copper wire to wrap around. It's just a scrap piece, and I'm going to use 26 gauge copper wire to wrap it. Actually, I think I've got, yeah, I'm going to use a scrap piece of that as well. So, and these blue beads. Right. Sorry, I'm getting messages. Okay. On my watch. Not from the other side. Or I don't know what I'm saying. Right. 14. Oh, okay. 14 gauge copper wire. And so what we're going to do first is have a 5 centimeter length at the end and hold it with your fingers while you're holding the larger gauge copper wire, and then tightly wrap 1, 2, 3, 4 times ish. Usually I do it 4 or 5 times. So the reason why you hold it is because if you don't hold it and you wrap, it just spins round. You've got to hold it, or you've got to anchor it onto something. Okay, so once you've wrapped it round a few times, you take a bead, thread it on, let it go down. Okay, hold on to the end again. Once you've got it down onto the wire, hold the bead. I'm holding the end with those fingers. I'm holding the bead with between my finger and thumb, and then I'm pulling this super tight, really tight. Oh, okay, I just messed up. I pulled the, okay, I'm going to start again. Right, cut that bit off. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a little bend in the end. There we go. Thread the end through. Right, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push them. Push those little push that coil together so they're nice and tight together. Okay, then bead onto the end. Hold on to the bead with your thumb and your finger. Hold on to the wire it's on as well. Pull it tight, and then pull it round once and again. Okay, and then you've got a bead on there. I find faceted beads, because they're not smooth, stay in place better, but that's that's all right. Now what you'll find is you can see it's moving with the end of the wire. Okay, that's going to happen. You've got to keep going. Put another bead on. Hold onto the bead with your thumb and your finger. Pull tight and around once and twice. Okay, and the more beads you do, it should become fairly stable. If you're doing it around a circle, once you get a few beads on there, it starts to become more stable. But what you really need to do is make sure the ends are anchored somewhere. So I would have a loop there, then the circle and another loop on the other side, and my beads would be anchored with a few coils around that loop. And then, I mean, they're never going to, you know, if you force it, they'll spin round. But and because they're not anchored, they'll spin round because they're not anchored at the moment. But once they're anchored, they should be pretty good. Okay, bye.